Geometry Unit 1 Mid-Unit Quest Check, number 1, Part D. We're given this rectangle. It says rectangle IFGH. Now we're looking at the picture there as well. I have these IF, but these are the primes, so they've already been changed. So the original is IFGH right here. Rectangle IFGH has been graphed below, right there. Its image, meaning after it's been moved and changed, is I prime, F prime, G prime, H prime, right there. Has also been graphed. Describe in detail below 2 transformations that will map or get this triangle, move it onto this triangle. Now transformations, remember there's 3 transformations so far in geometry that we've used. We've done reflections where we flip the shape, and there we go. There's been rotations where we turn or spin the shape, and translations where we just slide it along and keep it in the same direction. So the hard part about this is visualizing how it's moving. So I traced it, there's my trace paper, and I got those letters, I, F, G, H. Now if you compare this one to this one, it's not, this rectangle is kind of standing taller. This rectangle, the longer length is down. So what's happening is that the rectangle kind of fell over. Notice, oh, I'm turning the page, which means I'm rotating it. So that's one thing that has to happen. Remember that we're using 2 of these moves. So we might be doing a reflection and rotation, or reflection translation, or rotation translation. So let's think about reflections. Well, actually, let's go back with rotation. Like, say if I just rotate this, what we want in the end, we want these H's to match up. We want this rectangle to be exactly here when we stop moving the tracing paper. So if I rotate, the rotation gets the letters in the right order. So now the G is in the top right corner, F is bottom right, F prime is bottom right. If I reflected this though, if I flipped it over, notice that the H and the H are kind of backwards now. The F's are backwards, the G's are backwards. So reflection, chances are reflection is not going to happen on this problem. Now there's lots of correct answers here, lots of ways we could go from this rectangle to the next one. Now the first thing I showed was rotations. What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to choose, let's say I choose I. I'm going to rotate around I, because I want to. Oh boy. So I've rotated around I. Now I've got the I's, the H's, the G's, and the F's in the right position. Now to get this rectangle over here, all I have to do is just slide to the left. Slide to the left. I hate that song. So again, rotate around I, slide to the left. Now let's say if I rotate around a different point, let's say I rotate around F. I could do a rotation like this. Now if I slide to the left, I'm going to be here, but I also have to move up. But I can still get there. One more move, but I can still get it. So that would actually be correct as well. I could rotate around G. And you're noticing a lot of different things that can work here. Left and up. Around H. And notice all of these, I'm turning my paper counterclockwise. I'm going backwards, left and up. Let's say if I had turned clockwise, there's a clockwise move. And then I go left and up, and notice when I go up, I have F going with H prime, H going with G, I with F. It's not matching up. We want those letters to match. So when you do this on the test, it's probably a good idea just to test a few things out. You want to make sure you can get from here over and up, however you can get it, to get those letters to match up. Now the very first one I did was around I. So there was a 90-degree rotation. I went 1/4 turn, and that was counterclockwise. So one of my moves is a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise around, and I was spinning around the point I. So there's a lot of detail you need here. 90-degree counterclockwise rotation around I. So that got me here. Now remember the slide from here was just a slide to the left. So if we're starting here, that's 1, 2 units, 3 units, 4, 5, 6, finally 7 units to the left. Now the slide, the fancy word for the slide was a translation. So we're going to say we translated, or we translate 7 units to the left to finally get the rectangle onto that new one. So this is probably going to be one of the harder ones to see, but that's a good way when you're using the tracing paper to see. Always look at the letters, look at the order, and you're trying to get this onto that one.